everyone! Welcome to another exciting commentary podcast. I'm Captain Logan. And here's Deadpoolzilla!
Hi, everybody, and thanks for thinking of me, Cap.
No problem! Deadpoolzilla has been doing reviews for Steven Universe on the channel with the Real Manos, and he asked me if he could collaborate with something with me, and he has chosen the Flashpoint paradox. And this, of course, came out. What is this? 2012, 2013?
I want to say either 2012 or 2013.
It is 2013, yeah. Crazy. It just doesn't feel that long ago. But of course, this is adapting Jeff Johns' Flashpoint, and I thought even at the time that this was such a strange choice, where you would, and this came so soon after Flashpoint, that you would adapt a thing that was meant to reboot a universe that, in movie form, has to set up the universe that it is then rebooting, because it's not connected to anything before it.
Yeah, and I just feel like I just wanted to do a Flash movie and just, sugarcoat it to make it a somewhat Justice League film, I guess.
Well, that's part of it, and then just this consistent branding thing with the rest of the DC movies going forward. It's got to be 52, because we want everything to look like that now. At the time, anyway.
And now with Rebirth, the point's kind of moot.
Well, yeah, of course. And we all knew that 52 wasn't going to last forever, and that we would look back on this stuff and it would be very dated, and it already is that. But I think this is kind of the best of the New 52 stuff with the animated movies, although it kind of counts and it kind of doesn't. I mean, they count it as part of that continuity. That's when the house style shift happens. So the animation in this already looks like it's going to beyond this. But it's, it really is kind of its own thing. Like, you don't watch this and think, oh, so we're going to have this whole universe after this.
Unfortunately, no, you don't think that. And honestly, if you weren't told that this was supposed to start a new line of Justice League films, yeah, it would just been a nice little standalone film, but nope, we got what came after.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and watch it and talk about it for you. If you'd like to watch the movie with us, we make this a commentary track. You can watch along with the movie. Get your DVD or your Blu-ray, however you want to watch it. Get it to timestamp 0, and I'll say press play here in just a little bit. And we'll also try to provide as much context for what we're talking about as we go along, in case you'd like to listen to this as a podcast instead of having to watch the film right along with us. Are you ready, Mr. Deadpoolzilla?
I am ready, Cap.
All right, here we go. Let's get started. Everybody, please press play right now.
And so we're opening to this beautiful shot.
I gotta tell you, man, I'm very excited to get away from that peel-back DC logo.
Yeah, I like it. It just feels like a relic now, doesn't it?
I mean, it's only just been a couple months since we got rid of it, so not really. But I'm glad that we're finally getting past it. I can't remember if Suicide Squad used it or if they had already gotten to the new logo. I think they had already gotten to the new logo.
Yeah, I think they did. I think the last time we saw it was Batman v Superman, right?
Yeah, it has it.
Yeah.
So, what possessed you to choose this movie?
Would you believe just why not? The sheer force of why not?
Sure. I do many things based on the sheer force of why not.
And the thing is, like I told you earlier, and I guess the fair audience can know now, I did have like a few other movie ideas, but they were already taken, so I technically got the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, sorry, man. So this is just the Back to the Future house, right?
Yep. There's like a part of me that thinks like either Doc Brown or Rick from Rick and Morty is going to pop out.
And of course, he steps on a shard of glass that is shaped like the Flash symbol.
Yeah, because symbolism. Oh no, not the cake.
So, how do you feel about this animation?
There's a part of me that it looks good in some places, but then it shows like when it shows how bad it is, it clear like it's really hard to look away from the bad animation. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's animated well, and I'm not a big fan of some character designs.
And me neither. I don't know about you, but I just feel like there's some like Yo-Yo. I guess that's supposed to be like Flashpoint Harley Quinn, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't even care about that much about Flashpoint if I just realize. Oh yeah, that's supposed to be Harley, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I kind of like her design. I mean, it's straight off the page, but it's just the men in these movies have such giant, broad shoulders.
Yeah, I guess it's supposed to be like this is what a man looks like with broad shoulders,
Everybody's just so bulky in this.
and everyone has narrow chins. Like you could cut these are like Ginsu knife chins.
Yeah, they're not especially proportionate.
Yeah. I don't know if it was trying to be like they wanted to go an anime route, and I want to say like some it was a different animation studio at least this time around, but then they just stuck with the one from War and went on with that for the rest of the films, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but their character models are certainly very anime inspired.
Yeah.
Which is the thing I've kind of gotten used to. I get flack for this a lot when I complain about that, but it's a thing that, like, again, I'm getting used to. I'm more okay with it. I hardly even notice it at this point, just because they've all been doing that. It's more just that, again, weird bulky look that bugs me. I like the tops line there.
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
You're at the bottom, and I am the top. I think that's fun.
It's just like this is a comic book universe. Darn it, we're gonna do these kind of lines.
That's right. When you've got an hour 20 minutes to do Flashpoint, and not just Flashpoint, but to try to integrate at least some of the stuff that was in a lot of the tie-ins, maybe we don't go for the standard big fight opening that's not really all that relevant to the story, because we do this in every one of these.
Well, we got to keep the kids entertained, Cap. How else do you want them to see, a headless Mara later on? You need to prepare them for this stuff.
And don't get me wrong, I think this is one of the better ones. I enjoy this opening quite a bit, and it's at least relevant to the story as far as in setting up the story with Eobard Thawne, but you didn't really need it. You could have.
I would say like you didn't need it. You just could have just done Thawne from here on out and not need the rogues. But at the same time, I'm a big fan of the rogues. So I'm like, it's not needed, but it's kind of fun.
Well, no, absolutely. I just think that it's stealing real estate that would have been better served throughout the rest of the movie to make this a little bit more of a cohesive piece. Because, like I said, it's such a weird choice for adaptation like this. Flashpoint is a thing that needs maybe a miniseries, maybe a one-season cartoon show.
Or one season on the CW.
Yeah, because the miniseries itself doesn't stand alone. Like, it needs a lot of those tie-ins to flesh these characters out. It doesn't read real well by itself. It's a lot of characters popping in and out and making dramatic entrances and then not doing a whole lot. And then you get to the end and there's more stuff for some of those characters, especially that Batman or that Cyborg is trying to recruit at the beginning.
Yeah, when you say like that, yeah, it's kind of unnecessary. Real quick though, I don't know about you, but I really enjoy the voice actor they got for Thawne.
Yeah, who is that?
Oh man, he's familiar.
C.
Like
Thomas
I've
Howell, but I don't know what else he's done. Let me check his. Yeah, I didn't recognize him right off.
Yeah, he's like an actor I know, but I just can't pin down where he's from.
Yeah, I mean, he's a character actor that's done a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm not immediately recognizing him in anything. Anyway, but yeah, obviously this is here because we don't usually get to, or before recently, we didn't get to do a lot of this Flash stuff. but these characters don't get to really inform the movie very much.
Yeah, unfortunately, and honestly, I think it's just fan service because again, this is the only time we're ever going to get a Flash movie, probably. So I guess the creators were like, let's just do this.
It's certainly more plausible now. It's kind of surreal going back to this after the Flash show got popular.
Yeah. And here comes Batman.
The bulkiness of Superman, that's probably the worst offender. Well, Cyborg doesn't look good either, but...
Yeah. Neither does Captain Atom. Again, the broad shoulders. Oh, God, it's... I'm sorry, the broad-shoulderedness is distracting.
That's all we can talk about. It's really distracting. This is probably my favorite Captain Boomerang design. It's the one that's right out of Jeff Johns' run, and I like Jeff Johns' Boomerang quite a bit.
Yeah, it is really good, and oh god, Aquaman.
Yeah. But yeah, all of this is certainly much more of a novelty at the time. Now, of course, Flash is a very popular television thing, and so I could actually see maybe they're going to a Flash movie at this point, especially since they're finally going to do, with the Teen Titans Judas Contract movie, they're finally going to do a movie that doesn't have to have Justice League or Batman or Superman in the title. So, like there really ought to be an animated Flash movie and an animated Green Lantern or Green Arrow movie now. I'd say, because they might sell, based on big runs. Like, it'd be cool to see Longbow Hunters.
I would love to see Green Arrow Year One done as a story.
That too.
Yeah. By the way, can we talk about why was Kevin Conroy needed in this film if this was not even the Batman they were going to use in the new movie universe?
It makes you wonder how much forethought they had.
I have this feeling much like with DC was with Flashpoint, where it was like, Jeff Johns is going to make a comic event, and then along comes the bigwigs going, we're going to make it into a new movie universe. Wait, what? That's what I feel like it was.
But I still don't know why you do this if you're not going to have more movies after it, except just to promote 52, I guess.
Yeah.
Because they haven't really done this with a whole lot of other super recent arcs, have they?
No, I could be wrong, but I think not.
This was kind of unprecedented. And what I would do, and I'm saying this more now than I would have before, because I was really completely uninvested in the 52 animation continuity until recently with Justice League vs. Teen Titans, which I like quite a bit, and I wish they would do some more 52 arcs that aren't just Batman and Justice League things. I'm a little surprised there hasn't been talk of adapting any of Jeff Johns' Aquaman.
Yeah, but maybe it's just because Aquaman doesn't sell. I mean, that might be their track record for train of thought. I mean,
well, yeah, but that's before, right? Like now that we've got the new movies, we got DC Extended, and they think they're gonna make an Aquaman movie. It seems like it'd be smart to try to test the waters of that and feel it out with this stuff. Like that's part of what I think the animated movies ought to be.
Yeah,
kind of test the waters a little bit. Although, come to think of it, they did do Throne of Atlantis, didn't they? I forgot about that.
Yeah, they did.
And that was really recent, so never mind. They did that.
But again,
that is a Justice League arc before it's an Aquaman arc.
It is, and it did. I was about to say, oh, you could do the Trench. Oh, wait, you did Throne of Atlantis. Never mind.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But also, I think Forever Evil would be a fun thing to adapt.
Actually, yeah.
And I love Forever Evil, but it's a thing that you could adapt and improve on, and some of the best of these that we have gotten have been things that have been stories that were kind of flawed, that we then tried new things with.
Yeah. And the other thing is, you got Suicide Squad does have some popularity to it, so you could do a villains movie.
That's a really great point, yeah.
And Assault on Arkham did really good as an animated film.
And Lex Luthor as the hero of stories has been really popular in comics lately. I'd kind of like to see that done.
Yeah,
I don't love Lex Luthor in that movie, in that story arc, but again, you could improve on it. You could do something with it. We talked over it, but I don't know why Flash didn't think to do his throwing the lightning bolt thing to destroy the bomb earlier than he did, except for dramatic effect.
You just answered your own question for dramatic effect.
Oh,
That's
is that
why.
the reason? Oh, okay, man. I don't know why I ask questions. I already have the answers to, man.
I
Boy,
well,
I'm
it wasn't
just
so
I'm
much
just
an
sitting
answer.
here wasting time.
Yeah. Don't worry. There's a lot of this film we tend to forget for good reasons.
So can I make a stupid complaint?
By all means,
I think the running looks silly.
it does.
Should I? Is that a bad thing to say? Is it just because we've kind of perfected it in the Flash TV show and it looks really good? Like, I don't know what it is about that. I don't like it.
Well, I think it looks great in the Justice League Unlimited and the Bruce Timm Paul stuff where it looks good. Here it looks slow
And stiff. It's because he doesn't have his
the-
whole body in it. It's just his upper body. It's just his arms are moving back and forth, and that's yes. I'm complaining about this.
He's quintessentially a running rock'em sock'em robot.
So we do the same thing that we do in Flashpoint, where we jump right into this other universe without showing the impetus of it in the first place, because that's supposed to be a big secret, a big reveal at the end of Flashpoint. And that's one of my issues with that book, is that I don't feel like, I mean, I wasn't surprised by it. I don't know how knowing Flash's backstory and making a big deal out of his mom being alive and stuff, that you wouldn't know that, like, oh, it's Barry Allen that changed the world by trying to save his, like, that seems like the obvious thing to do.
Yeah, it's a little on the nose when you really think about it.
And I mean, I like it. I don't have a problem with that. That's the character arc. I mean, the whole point, and we're beat over the head with it in this version. But I do like that Flashpoint at least is kind of trying to tell a story for the Flash, even though it's got all these subplots for this other universe, of course, where the idea is he has to learn what you can change and what you have to let go of, and the things that you can change. So that should be there. I mean, I like that that's the way the universe gets created. It's just kind of weird that we make it a mystery.
Yeah, I just thought of something.
Yeah.
It would have been a way better prologue instead of the whole Flash Museum thing if we followed that. Did you read the one shot by Scott Collin, the Reverse Flash one shot for Flashpoint?
I don't think so. No.
It's this brilliant little one-shot talking about Eobard Thawne's big plan of making Barry the villain the whole time. And it talks about his origin and how he keeps running back in time, changing something in his own timeline to make it work for him. Like, he had a brother, and then his brother almost sold him out. He went back in time, killed his brother, and then said he was an only child. It was, I think, yeah, if you did like a little Reverse Flash, little origin, and then jump into this, you wouldn't miss much.
No, you really wouldn't. And again, that scene at the beginning is there to establish what this world is supposed to look like in the first place. So for the sake
of,
end
up not caring at all. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, for the sake of this world, I can see why you might think you kind of need that. At the same time, how are you going to appreciate the alternate variations of these characters if you don't already know this? So this movie is requiring you to have prior knowledge of the DC Comics universe anyway.
Yeah.
So if it's gonna do that, it might as well just go full tilt and be like, okay, it's not a thing that stands on its own. It is a straight up. It's not that it fits in the continuity of the DC Comics universe, but it is just an adaptation of Flashpoint, and it expects that you know something about these characters. If you don't know what Harley Quinn is, you're not gonna get Yo-Yo. If you don't know 90s continuity, you won't get Grifter. I mean, the comics already expect you to know something, or are, I guess, kind of introducing you to those characters in the first place with some of that stuff, maybe. And I'll try not to make this just a giant criticism of New 52. But I always think about stuff like that where, like, maybe it sounds absurd for me to say, if you don't know Harley Quinn, yes, of course, most people know who that is, but I'm just saying, for the sake of your internal logic for your universe, this is your introduction to both the world we're changing and this world.
Yeah, exactly. Also, let me bring this up. I don't know about you, but did that whole fight sequence between Batman and Yo-Yo just feel really stiff?
I can be honest with you, I kind of like it.
I mean, it looks fine, but to me, it just feels, I don't know, like it's supposed to be very fast paced, but I don't know. It just felt kind of just stiff. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
No, that's fair. And I'm not super critical of animation in the first place, except for when I just notice things that seem super off. But maybe it's just I like yo-yos as a weapon. I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I like the sound effect. That seems like a really scary weapon that's also really absurd at the same time, and that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
She looks like if there was a female rocket racer with yo-yos.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say she looks like that one girl from Big Hero 6.
That's true. I don't know what that girl's name is because I've seen that movie 1.5 times.
Honey Lemon. Yeah,
There
that's
you
the
go.
character's name.
Thanks, man. Wow, Cyborg is really tall. Either Cyborg is really tall or Thomas Wayne is 5'6".
I'm willing, for sake of comedy, to go with the latter.
I've always loved the idea of Thomas Wayne Batman. I think that's kind of the big thing that Flashpoint had going for it that everybody remembers. There's some other neat ideas too. I like Citizen Cold a lot.
That is cool. I also, Citizen Cold for me. Captain Thunder's a cool idea.
Yeah.
Granted, the execution's not that great, but still. But yeah, the Brian Azzarello Batman story in the Flashpoint universe, that is really good.
I don't love the third act, but
Yeah, it does kind of fall apart, but the first two issues.
oh wait, I'm sorry, I'm not thinking of the same thing. I'm not talking about the same thing you are. Brian Azzarello did which one? The Shazam one?
No, he did Batman. He did the Batman comic he wrote for Flashpoint. That's what I was talking about.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I was thinking of something else. Which one did Snyder do?
He did Superman.
That's right. Okay. I had it all mixed up in my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I was right the first time. Yeah, the third act of the Azzarello story is weird. I'm weird about the Joker thing, and maybe we should save that and talk about that a little bit later because it's not really in this movie. But we have plenty of time, Deadpool. We have plenty of time.
Yeah. Can I ask also a question about Flashpoint? How did a war from Atlantis and the Amazons spark? I mean, I know how it sparked, but how long? Why did it last so long, and why didn't anyone stop them up until the world's gonna get blown up?
Why is everyone so apathetic? Where they're like, it's just the end of the world. We have better things to do.
Exactly.
This idea, it's really oversimplified, right? This idea that you need the Justice League and more altruistic notions in a world that's not so cynical for people with superpowers to use them to stop the end of the world. Like for people, I like. By the way, can I just say real quick? I like this shot a lot. Of him trying to get into Gotham City because we never get to see the outside of Gotham City and people driving into it.
Yeah, the only time I've ever seen the outside of Gotham City was that Steve Niles story, Gotham City Limits.
Well, that sounds appropriate. I've never read that.
It's okay.
But anyway,
if you like Deadman, you're gonna like Gotham City Limits.
If you like Deadman, okay. What were we talking about? I wanna go back because we talked over it. And mention the thing with the holographic meeting they have. So the superpowered people that Cyborg is trying to recruit. There's way fewer of them here than there are in the book, and of course, that's somewhat understandable given that we have an hour and 20 minutes, and they're trying to keep down the number of characters, and there are still too many for this. But that meeting is really silly because none of the holograms get to really say anything.
Except the Shazam family.
Yeah, but they don't contribute anything. There's no reason they needed to be there.
Yeah, it's just like, check out all these cameos. We missed the Canterbury Cricket, but don't worry, he got a speaking role.
Yeah, I forgot about the Canterbury Cricket. Wow, I haven't thought about that in a long time.
Yeah, we try to forget the Canterbury Cricket. Also, can I just say, I just do not care about Thomas Wayne's voice actor. I just don't care about this voice.
Oh, I think it's fine.
It just sounds like it's trying to be too hard to be Christian Bale.
I don't think it sounds Christian Bailey. I think it sounds like anybody doing a really gruff Batman voice. Yeah, it's a little generic, but I don't think it's terrible. Also, my standard right now, unfortunately, is the other movies that have come after this that have really, really awful voice acting most of the time. And sadly,
So low standards. Gotcha.
This movie, well, yeah, I mean, like, I don't want that to be the standard, but that's what I've had to kind of adjust to lately, and it sucks. This movie it's above that. I think all around, well, with the exception of, I don't like Wonder Woman or Aquaman.
Oh God, are the Amazons really thin? Like,
Which is
I
weird because of the giant, bulky men.
Yeah, I was like, are the Amazons in this universe like descended from Slender Man? Huh?
So they make this really graphic in a way it's not in the book.
Yeah. Also, can I just ask, and this is going to be prominent in the rest of the movie, why didn't this get an R rating?
I don't know that it's R worthy any more than some of the others that get really violent. Like
really, the scene where I don't think I'm spoiling anything. The scene with Diana holding Mara's severed head, that's not R worthy.
We've had severed heads in at least 2 or 3 of these.
Yeah,
Believe it or not, they do that a lot, yeah. But remember, in this country, we're a lot more worried about nudity than we are about violence. And even like foul language. In the book, we don't see this happen. It's off screen. I do kind of like the addition of Wonder Woman's line that nothing is beneath her. Because she and Aquaman are both so far gone that they're completely unfeeling and they've fallen completely into these godhood roles and they don't see people as people. So I kind of like that she's the one that does it, but it's a little gratuitous. Maybe it's a lot gratuitous.
It feels like it's just for the sake of doing it, and I don't mean just for the character. I mean for
it's a shock factor thing. Yeah. It's see, this is supposed to be a hellish universe, so we got to go as far as we can go. At the same time, it's more warranted here. Again, like the standards are not real high with these movies. You kind of got to give it that it's more warranted in this context than it is in a lot of others, where this is a story that shouldn't be watched by kids in the first place. So it's at least already more adult material. I mean, Barry Allen is gonna get electrocuted and his whole body completely fried, and that happens in the books. Like, it's already more adult material. And again, this is supposed to be your apocalyptic, hellish alternate. Yeah, this is Barry Allen's.
Hello?
Can you hear me? Deadpoolzilla, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought we dropped out there for a second.
No, I must have popped out for you. I was just saying, this is supposed to be, Barry Allen's crappy alternate present from Back to the Future 2.
Yeah.
So it's...
You gotta go back, Barry!
We've gotta go back! And then Barry Allen takes Thomas Wayne to 1955 to make sure that he finishes singing a concert.
Yeah. Now, great. Now I just want to see Thomas Wayne play Go Johnny Go. Thank you, Cap. I'm never going to get that.
You're not going to be able to get that out of your head.
No, well, I'm not going to get that in general, and I'm sad.
Oh, no, that's true. Yeah. Well, you should go to a convention and commission an artist to draw it.
I probably will.
Because that would be beautiful. Yeah, get it on a sketch cover. Get it on a Flashpoint sketch cover. It'd be fantastic.
Oh, man.
I just put this together. Thomas Wayne has this board of playing cards because of the Joker, and he runs casinos now. Well, that's interesting.
Again, symbolism.
Yeah, well, it's not just symbolism, though. There's maybe a psychology there.
Yeah. Great. Oh, boy, here we go.
Yeah, so Deathstroke, he's in 3 panels in the book.
And it's the same thing with Kevin Conroy. the only reason they brought in Ron Perlman to voice Deathstroke, who, yeah, because, yeah, obviously he was the voice of Slade in Teen Titans, and it's really cool to see him in here, but at the same time, did you really need him?
There's no reason for reprised roles, but I think it could have been sort of neat, at least in the case of Conroy. Obviously, it wouldn't have made sense with Deathstroke. Hear me out on this. Tell me what you think about this. If it had to be Kevin Conroy, why not have the new voice actor at the end?
That's always confused me, because again, it's supposed to be connected universes. Was it just, again, I just think it was just for fan service, and like maybe they...
I do too, but like they could have made it, they could have justified it a little bit more if it's, okay, the world has changed so much, he doesn't even sound the same.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's great, but it's maybe a cool idea. I don't know. Or if you had kind of played it like you were using Flashpoint to reboot the DC animated universe, like have all the voices be people that voiced them before. That could have been kind of fun. Yeah, that could have been kind of fun, but sadly, DC doesn't believe in that kind of logic, apparently. I know. But like, it wouldn't have even had to be technically that continuity. It could have just been kind of homage-y. Yeah, but I get what you're saying. I just feel like especially at the end of passing the torch, in passing the reins, because this is right around when Bruce Timm jumped ship. Yeah, I think this was the final movie. If not, this was after he left. Shortly after he left, at least. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm confounded by why we're using anybody that's voiced these characters before, and even if we weren't gonna go forward, it's a strange choice. I like the reveal here that guy's Clayface. That plays better here in the movie than it does in the book. And he gets killed right away, just like he does in the book. But yeah. It's a little more fun here when he's running across. Oh, it's Clayface! Because in the book, he's called Clayface right away, so you already know that's who that is. Yeah, it is a fun little reveal, and God, the same with Lex Luthor is not in the book. Yeah, or at least it's not in because didn't come to think of it, didn't Deathstroke get a side book? Yeah, he got a 3-issue side book. I can't remember. I haven't read that. I can't remember if he died in there. No, he dies in Flashpoint. I meant, did he die in the book? Is what I'm saying. In that book, is what I mean. And also we have counter. But I'm just saying, it would have been a double beat. He dies in Flashpoint. So like most of that book had to have taken place before that. But I wonder. All I'm saying is I'm wondering if Lex Luthor was there, because I'm sure Lex is somewhere. Yeah. In Flashpoint, but I don't remember. I don't know where. I didn't read. I read maybe half of those. Maybe the only ones I really read were the Green Arrow issue, the Grodd issue, and Batman, as well as Reverse Flash. That was about it for me. Oh, interesting. Apparently, they put Lionel Luthor in the Flashpoint universe. Oh, well, it doesn't matter in here because he just got skewered. I don't know where. I don't know which book it is. I don't think it's Superman, but it might be Superman. You could be right. I mean, I think it could be Superman, or it could be Legion of Doom that he was in there. Not sure which. We see him apparently touring Sam Lane's facility of aliens, and they do something with Subject 2 in that. So it is. Yeah, you're probably right. It is Superman. Okay. I haven't read that in so long. Yeah. Also, can I just say that the science is really not sound in this kind of train of logic? Like, we're just going to recreate and see what happens. Might kill me, but you're going to complain about that? You're going to complain about pseudoscience and a... Well, I mean, like, there's no real big train of logic here. Like, you just got lucky, Barry. Because okay, if you're really looking at the Jeff Johns rebirth story, then it's meant to happen. But at the same time, that's not really sound thinking. Well, that's a good point. I mean, it's very much Star Trek logic. We do this kind of thing in Star Trek a lot, where it's like, okay, somehow or rather we wound up in this other timeline or this alternate universe. We've got to recreate exactly the conditions so that we can get back to where we were in the first place. And like I can see how theoretically the exact same conditions would make the same thing happen again, but like, do you need the exact amount of chemicals to the ounce, or how are you making sure that it's exactly the same substances that it was in the first place? If it's a mixture of things, because I don't know what the chemicals are. They're chemicals.
Yeah, and also you got struck by accident, and you didn't even know which chemicals they were, Barry. Did you study them as they were entering your system?
I was gonna ask you that. I wouldn't think he would know precisely the chemicals.
Yeah.
There's the animated Barack Obama, so that dates this, but the Flashpoint has that too. Not in this scene though, weirdly. The president is in the background, and you just have a voice, and you don't. It's just kind of it's an arbitrary faceless president, and then later on in the book, it's clearly Barack Obama.
Yeah, and they show him in Suicide Squad in the New 52 a few times. I know he also appeared in. I know it's not DC, but I know President Obama showed up in Thunderbolts in Dark Reign.
I love this design for the spaceship.
Man, me
I
too.
think it's so good, and this is
so it's so funny because it's such a campy design, but at the same time, it's in a universe where it's meant to be dark and just completely evil, and here we have this goofy looking rocket.
I don't like calling it campy. It's it's really reverential to what it looked like in 38. In the comics, it's more of a 30s or 40s vision of a futuristic rocket ship. But the reason I love it in this context is because, and I actually think this is handled cooler in the movie, or maybe it's just getting to see it moving. Seeing the Kents look up and see that ship, and it's very, very old school Superman, and then it just totally passes them and blows up a city.
Yep,
I love that.
Also, can I just say, going back to the Atlantean Amazon War, you kind of started this, Arthur. Why are you getting mad? You clearly had the hots for Diana over Mara. Did you not think this was not going to happen? What happens to Mara here? Did you not think that was going to happen?
Hey, Deadpoolzilla, could you do me a favor? Could you, wipe the Vaseline off the lens? So we could see this a little clearer, maybe? No? Okay.
What?
Why is it so fuzzy?
I don't know.
That is one of the big complaints I have about these movies. Look at it. It's so fuzzy. I'm like crossing my eyes trying to look at this.
Here's the other thing. I guess it was supposed to be meant to be like that. This is how you tell it's a flashback.
Yeah, no, that clearly is what it is, because we go from that flashback into this one.
It's not a good idea. It's not a great idea to make it a flashback, whether you're trying to make things fuzzy.
Yeah. I also don't like the organization of scenes here. The editing here is strange. I don't know why we're seeing this after that, just because they're both flashbacks and they're both informing these characters.
Also, this also makes no sense of just showing it in the middle of the film rather than... You know what would have been better if you showed all of this right before Barry woke up in the new universe?
I'm with you. That's actually quite a good idea. And I guess the argument against it is we're supposed to be in Barry's head with him when he... thinks he's still in our universe. So, but that doesn't play. We know immediately, especially because if you bought this, you probably have some sense of what the premise of the movie is, that things have changed already.
Yeah, and there's the Joker Martha scene.
Yeah.
Wait, why did I say that name?
Yeah. Let's talk about the Martha thing in a second. Before that, I want to mention that this is one of the letdowns for me in the book, because the fried Barry Allen at the end of the second issue was such a surprise and a shock, and not where I thought that would go. I really thought he was taken out of the story, and then you get to the next issue and it's just let's try again, and yeah, I never liked that.
Yeah, it's literally like, let's try again. Hang on, not even Johnny Knoxville tries another stunt like that after it nearly kills him on his show. No, Barry.
I mean,
That's the definition of insanity.
all you can give it is, well, it works though. like all you can give it, I guess, is bad things keep happening to him. He has to go through some stuff in order to solve this problem as much as he ultimately solves it. But it's kind of it's kind of anticlimactic, yeah. Like he gets totally fried. He's got third-degree burns on 75% of his body, Batman says in the book, and then he just does it again, and it works this time. The end.
Yeah. And all the burns
all
are
right.
gone. Like, it's all just broke, like an instant scab being ripped off. It's gross.
And like, what's different this time? Oh, you're right. Why are the burns gone? I guess he heals fast, but I don't think he would heal that fast.
Exactly.
I don't know. Does Flash heal like Wolverine fast? I wouldn't think so. Especially because, okay, here's a thing. At the end, when he goes into the time vortex and he chases after his counterpart, he's limping.
Exactly. Like, Barry, you just survived 75% of your body getting burned. How are you now suddenly did you just lose the healing factor after the lightning bolt? Or, oh wait, comics, how do they work?
Boy, I never thought of that before. Okay. So even though Joker isn't featured in this at all, I wanna use this opportunity because again, we've got time. We know what's gonna happen here.
Yeah. And nor do we care.
Yeah, it's a little convenient that Thomas Wayne comes up with Batman just like Bruce Wayne does, at least in that the costume looks so much like what Bruce Wayne comes up with. I'm cool with the idea that Thomas Wayne would use that motif because, of course, he's got a Batcave, and the Creature of the Night thing works just as well for what he's doing as it does for Bruce Wayne. So I give that more of a pass. The Joker thing I never understood. Because this is not an Elseworld story, it's a recreation of a universe. So it's really easy that she would, whether or not you buy in that moment that she would lose it and start laughing and go crazy the way she does in turning into the Joker, that's an okay, like, alternate history Elseworld story. This is a different way for the whole world to play out. It doesn't work for rebooting a universe. Because, like, where is the guy that was the Joker, and why, right? Like, I don't understand that.
Well, let me say that I guess what it was trying to be, and this is the same thing with why Thomas uses guns, is because when a parent loses a child, they deal with the grief in very different ways, and I guess this is meant to be the ultimate extremes right here. I mean, with Bruce, he wanted to set an example, but with Thomas, I guess when Bruce died in this continuity, you could argue that, you know, that little light of hope that he was building is just kind of been snuffed out. And again, grief, everyone deals with grief differently, and Bruce grew up trying to control that. It was a little late for Thomas, you could say.
I get all that. That all works. The point I'm making is it's not a character thing. I
understand it. Yeah, I know it's not a character thing. I'm just trying to make sense of this senseless movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, Thomas Wayne doing what he does, I think makes enough sense. And that's fine. But yeah, Flashpoint was always frustrating to me because I think it makes for a better Elseworld story than it does the way to reboot your universe. Because we're not telling a really complex, cohesive narrative that gets us from point A to point B that gets the universe rebooted. It's simply the world gets all screwed up and it's a weird, messed up, alternate, present, and then we flip a light switch at the end and now it's 52. When Marvel finally does it and we get to Secret Wars, it's much more what this ought to have been.
Yeah.
And suddenly Grifter.
Yeah, and also, I don't know all the Wildcats fans. I bet you're all cheering. All 7 of you are cheering that Grifter finally got to be animated.
Well, and actually not finally, just in one of these. There was a Wildcats cartoon show.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I totally forgot that one was terrible.
Which was Super X-Men.
Yeah. Oh, look, Canterbury Cricket. We totally needed him in this movie.
I do like Lois saying Etrigan rhyming gets old fast. I was a little surprised Jeff Johns didn't write that line. That's not in the book.
Yeah, yeah, but it is kind of funny. But oh man, I just do not care at this. I know I keep forgetting the voice actress names for Lois. What's her name again?
Oh, I don't remember. Is it the one from the cartoon show?
Yeah, it's the one from the '90s show.
Yeah, I'll find it. I don't remember.
Again,
right oh yeah, it's Dana Delaney.
Yeah, why do I keep forgetting that name? I always mixed up with Dana Snyder, and I was like, no, that's the voice for Master Shake and Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
I do like the tragedy of Thomas Wayne having been a healer, and now, as opposed to Bruce Wayne, he's not. He doesn't care about really helping people.
Yeah, it is literally the rage just kind of really consumed him more than it did Bruce, really.
And he's constantly getting drunk, just like Affleck Batman.
Yeah.
So now this is a motif that's running through Batman things. The crazy drunk Batman who has gone over the edge.
Yep. It's literally he's like a half step away from being all-star Batman.
Yeah, that's a really good point. His breaking the glass there and grabbing that gun, that's a little dramatic, right?
Yeah.
I have a hard unless he's just constantly replacing that glass. I have a hard time buying that he's never done that before.
Yeah. Breaking glass, sure, but breaking that glass, oh, we needed it to be dark and in your face. Oh man.
Okay, so tell me if I'm mistaken about something. Does this movie not make it clear that it's Thawne that kills his mom?
I think that it's almost like they were treating you to be dumb about it. Like, oh, you won't know who killed his mom. You don't know who killed his mom. Even though we're pretty sure it's the guy who can time travel and hates Barry's guts for, really inane reasons. But still, yeah, you could probably guess.
do they actually come out at the end though and say for sure that in this that's what's going on?
I
felt like they left it kind of ambiguous, but maybe it's in his speech at the end and I just don't remember it. It's just weird because it's not him in costume. In this, it's a guy that sneaks up on her in like a black suit.
I honestly can't remember because I really care so little about this.
Yeah, well, because I don't think
you're right.
I don't think we even go into what Reverse Flash's beef with Flash is. Like this whole story really only works with all that time travel stuff. With
context. If you don't know who Reverse Flash is and why he hates Barry Allen and the entire Flash family, then you're going to be lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of cool because, as my friend Cooliovid said, the best way to describe Reverse Flash is kind of think Joker with super speed. Really.
Hal Jordan doesn't need to be in this.
Yeah. It just felt like, we have Nathan Fillion. We need to use him more.
Well, I mean, he's in Flashpoint, but I also don't think he needs to be in Flashpoint. I mean, it's really just, where is Green Lantern? Except that he doesn't feel like he is encroaching on the narrative so much like he does here. Where like every time he's on screen in this, I'm like, he's gonna get killed off. It's like leave him in the background, like Deathstroke. In Flashpoint, we don't seem to see him quite as often. So you're right. He's getting more screen time because of the voice actor.
Yeah. That's all I can think of. Because we have Nathan Fillion, we need to use him. Which, okay, I can't follow that train of logic, but sure.
So has technology just not advanced since 1988 in this universe? Like why does it look like we're using a Mac Plus with a floppy drive?
Oh no! I can totally explain that. You see, Cap. Bill Gates totally went insane and became this universe's Riddler. Does that make sense? It does in my universe.
Is that what happened? Okay, all right.
Oh God, I
so
wish.
What? He's like, so what? He's just withholding computer technology. Like he just uses it himself and doesn't build a corporate empire. Is that what you're saying?
That's
what
my train
happens?
of logic.
Okay.
Hey, in
All right.
this movie, in this kind of movie, in this kind of universe, that's the most logical explanation I can think of.
No, maybe the idea is supposed to be that Thomas Wayne, like maybe that's supposed to be a contrast with Bruce Wayne, where he's not a computer guy. He's got one really old. Oh, you know what? That's actually, come to think of it, also in Flashpoint, because there's this joke where Flash is standing there and they're having a lot of dialogue back and forth, and finally Flash just says, "Man, this computer's taking a really long time to boot up," and that's pretty
Maybe.
funny. So I think that is supposed to be the idea.
Yeah, I like mine better. Because Bill Gates is Riddler. Why not?
I actually like this no nonsense cyborg.
I kind of do too, and I mean, yeah, I guess in Flashpoint, this cyborg it was supposed to show that, hey, this is what we're going to be getting in New 52. So, and I do like how because realistically, yeah, someone like Cyborg would definitely be working for the government as he is in this universe.
And yet, at the same time, he's the closest thing you have to Superman or really any other altruistic superhero. Kind of surprising that this isn't a big throw the government under the bus movie so much. And even and even Flashpoint is that way also. Like there's not a whole lot of corruption and stuff that we're dealing with Cyborg and the president and stuff. It's really just we can't get the rest of the superheroes to work with us, and so the president sends in the cavalry that can't really do anything just to do something and to make it look to the public like they're trying.
Yeah. Plus, I doubt corruption plays a big role when two superpowered races are pretty much blowing up the world for God knows how long.
Well, good point, but you could see them throwing all that in a pot and not really thinking. You know what I mean? Where it's just we'll do.
Cap, you just explained Flashpoint in one sentence. Throw everything. Throw everything in a pot and have it not make sense, or not build up on it.
But to your earlier point, yeah, maybe you wouldn't have a lot of corruption, but you'd think you'd also have people trying harder to save the world.
Yeah. Again, this kind of
everyone would have a vested interest in that.
Exactly. And the other thing is, going back to the war, wouldn't the world economically be destroyed? I mean, you lose half the country. I mean, half the world, and this is what you're left with.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I gotta say this real quick. I didn't notice this before. They don't label them or stand there and talk about it, but there's a kind of a little cameo or a nod to a thing that happens in Flashpoint. So there are
really because all these little drones remind me of that scene in Alien Resurrection.
One of them is a skeleton of a dog who's supposed to be Crypto the Super Dog. They mentioned that there were two other rockets, so there's like 3 projects they're working on. One of them is Superman. I don't know what the third one is, but the second one, I think it's 2 or 3, is that skeleton dog that I'm almost sure is supposed to be Crypto the Super Dog. Now I don't know why he's in a second rocket. So if anybody has an explanation for that, because it's probably in something I haven't read, my assumption is that that's Crypto.
Yeah. Oh man, this Superman. I know it's supposed to be their different universe, but man, does Clark look bad.
I mean, it's with this animation style, it's as off the page as the rest of it. That's what he looks like in the book.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like that. Animation-wise, the head is huge.
It's kind of like that in the book, though. It's really slender and lanky. It's slender. It's a lanky head. The head is lanky. You heard it here first, folks. Captain Logan called it a lanky head.
This is beautiful. I am so glad I got this commentary, so now we can get lanky head into the vocabulary of Geekvolution.
That's right, yes. Patented Captain Logan, registered trademark.
Okay, so what was the train of thought here for these soldiers? We're gonna fight a cyborg man, a speedster, and literally
and the most powerful thing on the planet. Mm-hmm. That's real smart.
Yep. Also, why do they all look like Terminators?
They do kind of all look like Terminators. Well, I don't know. They look like generic futuristic soldier guys to me. Oh, I guess, you know what? From the back, they definitely look like Terminators.
Yeah.
Boy, we're never going to get to call Deathstroke the Terminator ever again, are we?
Nope. Well, maybe we could get that chance now that Genesis completely bombed. Oh, God, that CGI animation.
Yeah, that's not exactly spectacular. Thomas Wayne with dual firearms is cool, I gotta say.
Yeah. It really does, going with with Thomas Wayne,
Yeah.
it's very clear that this Batman was meant to be like an homage to like clearly more homage with the guns to like the Shadow and the Spirit and all them.
Well, it's if Batman became more of what he was inspired by.
Yeah, and yeah, it's very
because
clear
he has much more of, except for what happens with his wife, because that's bizarre and would drive anybody crazy. Like you know, the fact that he's kind of a, you know, walking contradiction and stuff with the casinos and the corruption, but he's trying to kind of fight corruption, or at least, you know, fight insanity and stuff. Like, I'm fine with all of that because of how nuts that happening right there to your wife would be. Again, regardless of whether or not you actually buy that. But besides that part of it, he really does have a more traditional like tragic backstory for a hero, where, you know, it's like your kid dying would be a thing that would spurn you on like that. Where it's a thing that, what I mean is, it's more traditional in the sense that it's a thing that happens to you when you're an adult. So it's like, you know, I'm fully grown, and then this horrible thing happens to me, and now I put on a costume and I go fight crime.
Yeah.
Something I gotta say this real quick about Batman too. Something I had never thought of before, and I feel like a total idiot. There's a line in Flashpoint where he mentions that he's running ragged because he's old. I'm like, oh yeah, he would be like Batman's age when Bruce Wayne died. And this would be like 20-something years later. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
And then I felt really stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, so what he just does there, Hal Jordan going into the monster to blow it up, that's almost exactly that same thing happens with that general guy in New Frontier.
Yeah, I didn't think about it up until then. Yeah. Also, my question is, if the war is so bad, I mean, why they keep saying invasion force, and why haven't, you know, they've come over to this? Why at this point the war's just going on in Europe and not gone completely because it's clear that the states have been unaffected for the most part, as far as we know. But why just keep the war there if you say keep going with the invasion plans? It's like, do you have that much of a stake in this, or what? I don't know.
Boy, that's a great point. Well, also, wouldn't you go after the world's one superpower?
Yeah. That would be, yeah. I mean,
I'm just throwing that out there. Like, the United States has, and in this universe, it doesn't seem any different, right? It's not like Europe is the big superpower and they have a larger military and more control over the economy and stuff than anybody else in the world. That's still America, right? So wouldn't Aquaman and Wonder Woman want to maybe start there? I mean, yeah. I realize that Aquaman has this plan that's gonna basically, you know, break the whole Earth in half. But if it is a takeover plot, I don't know why you're not worried about the country with the most nukes.
Yeah. Plus, why didn't the UN stop this war when it happened? I mean, yeah, as I recall, Atlantis and Themyscira, both a kind of a little finite race. I mean, yeah, they have advanced technology, but numbers beat out weapons.
So this is another line that's added that I think makes this scene actually more fun than in Flashpoint, where Flash is like, let's go to the Batplane, and Thomas Wayne's like, what? I don't have one of those. That's not actually in the book. I think that was a cool ad. And then he goes, Bruce's Batplane was more stoic. It's another thing that separates him, and you kind of wonder though, if it wouldn't be easier for people to figure out that this guy was Batman than it is for Bruce Wayne, because he kind of just uses all of Thomas Wayne's stuff. like he doesn't have so much of his own of Batman's own apparatus.
And the other question is, I don't really think he cares if people know he's Batman.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he ought to, because it's gonna make it hard for him to run his business.
I don't know, if I found out the guy I'm working for is Batman, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you want to stay around?
Well, maybe, but if the cops found out, he gets arrested. Although we do have the most apathetic universe I've ever seen.
Chalk it up to comics.
So
how do they work?
Oh, so you're not going to let me ask any questions then? Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to talk for a second about Flash's character arc. This is one of the reasons. This is kind of the main reason that, again, I don't think the reveal. And then this is for this story and the comic version. The reveal that the Eobard Thawne thing at the end and killing his mom and everything really works, because he kind of should already know, I think, maybe, that all of this is his fault in the first place, because his big opportunity for change is in that last scene we were just looking at, where he realizes that there's a possibility that this is the universe that they're stuck with, and that this is a thing that maybe he can't change. So he's learning that lesson that his mom, which is kind of the great power thing, that his mom always told him, that some things you can change, some things you can't change. He really should know that this was his fault before he gets to that opportunity for change, I think.
Yeah, that is a good point. Like, he should know already. But then again, like he said in this film, how would something so tiny make such a big change? It shouldn't have made such a huge impact on the rest of the time stream. Maybe he just
definitely. But he's changing his line of thinking. Why? You see what I'm saying?
Okay, now I get.
I mean, certainly he's a person who cares about. He's a hero that cares about other people. So, maybe that's a thing he would do just inherently, that he's not an ends justifies the means guy. He's like, well, there are these people, they need our help, and I can't be sure that I can change the universe back to what it was. So, maybe it's more important to help these people. And that's his line of reasoning that leads to his convincing Thomas Wayne to help him with this battle, as opposed to continuing on to trying to change the timeline, which plays in the book better than it does here. I don't think it's made explicit enough that that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That it's the war now over, fixing the timeline. Like there's a good speech about it in Flashpoint that's truncated pretty hard here.
Yeah. No, I understand. I guess it was just like, we need a climactic ending. That's all I can fathom.
Oh yeah, no, that's it. But that's what's so weird in how a book like this informs a movie, right? Because a lot of decisions are made based on having punchy endings and really exciting beginnings from issue to issue.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the pacing of this, I think, a little bit weird, because it's not a 3-act story; it's a 5-issue miniseries. You see what I'm saying? Like it you can break it down to the 3 acts, but you have like weird cuts and cliffhangers in different places, because this was originally envisioned the way it was, and because we haven't really changed all that much. To its credit and to its detriment, I think. This is surprisingly played the way it is in the book.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as like the organization of scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. At this point, I'm just like, can we just wrap? At this point of the film, I'm just like, hurry it up. Oh man, because this third act is just let's see who can hit who.
Boy, Aquaman's face is weird.
Yeah, it looks kind of. Were they trying to make him look like The Rock? I don't know.
Maybe so. Is it that he's supposed to look like world weary and grizzled? Is that why he has all those weird lines on his face? Like,
I just assumed he got scratched by his cat.
although I will say this: can we have Batman versus Black Manta more often?
Yeah, I thought about it. It's like, because Black Manta is so criminally underrated sometimes. Like, everyone just knows him for Aquaman. I'm like, no, the dude is like one of the best mercenaries in the DC universe. Even like I've read comics where Slade said, I'm scared of him.
Yeah, well, he's super versatile, man. He works in water and out of water. There should be a story where it's revealed that Black Manta can also operate in space.
Darn it, Cap! Stop making up things I want, but it'll never happen.
Stop coming up with better movies than this movie.
Exactly, Black Manta in space, or Space Manta.
Space Manta, the musical,
with music composed by John Williams.
One thing. So part of the reason that I'm talking so much about the movie being organized so much like the book, which I was a little bit surprised by. I would have thought that this would have been more heavily adapted, is because kind of the natural thing to do would have been to make this more about Batman and to adapt and for more of this to be an adaptation of that 3-issue arc. I mean, because they're wanting it to be the full-on reboot thing, that's partly why they're not doing that, but we could have maybe still done the whole Flashpoint thing and made it a Flash movie and not focused as much on the war and then focused more on Batman. A little surprised they didn't do that.
I feel like, because again, this was probably the closest they'll ever get to doing a Flash film. I would have to, like, I think it would have been cool if, like, they did, like, a tiny 15-minute story, like a truncated version of the Brian Azzarello stories, like a side thing, kind of like what they did with Jonah Hex and Green Arrow.
That's a great point, yeah. Or imagine this as a vignette film.
Yeah, but again, you kind of run into the problem of of people just getting into this. It's like, how did this even happen? Why is Green Arrow?
But that's why you bookend it, where you make the overarching story. You bookend it kind of like Sin City, where you have this Flash story that's the beginning of putting this universe together, and then the end of it, and then in between we actually focus on some of these characters and their stories, like we did the side books. Because Flashpoint as a mini is a little padded.
Yeah. Man, the CGI gets really bad, especially in this chase scene. And it's so jarring when it switches from 2D to 3D.
Yeah, I don't know why we're still doing that.
Yeah. Don't worry, Flash. You healed from 75% burns. A stake through your leg shouldn't be so hard. Oh, wait, it is. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, if Dark Knight Rises Batman could take that knife to the gut and then get up and run over and run around, I feel like you should have no problem, Flash.
Yeah. I mean, you just healed from like 75% of your body being turned into country fried chicken, so...
Deep country fried chicken! My favorite!
Country fried Flash.
Deep country fried Flash! Yeah, I was already having a hankering for chicken when we had that, when he got charbroiled earlier.
But now I've just sealed the deal.
That's right, yes. I'm more excited about the biscuits, though. KFC has really good biscuits.
I don't know. I've been very partial to their mashed potatoes.
No,
See,
yes, sure, they have good mashed potatoes, and I'm not a KFC guy, but I really like the mashed potatoes
yeah. See, this is how much
and
we
the
care about
and the
this movie,
bread.
people.
That's
I do like
okay.
this
So
speech right
again,
here. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just saying that I really dug the speech that Reverse Flash gives. Like, it was like, "Oh, you didn't stop Hitler or save JFK. You just did
yeah.
something really selfish." I was like, "Yeah, that's a really good line in this craptacular film."
I gotta say though, I like it a little more going back to the book than
Yeah,
without it. But that's the problem is that I really think it kind of requires it. I'm telling you, that we're I don't know that we do come right out and say that he killed her.
yeah. I don't know.
It's so
Going
weird.
back, yeah, with the speech, I guess it's more like C. Thomas Howell's delivery than it is the actual lines.
Yeah, but I like those lines. They're not in the book. I think that's kind of a good
Yeah.
ad.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, remember that in that opening scene before we get to the Flashpoint universe, Eobard Thawne is kind of just a generic bad guy. There, like if memory serves, there's not really any discussion about his wanting to, to hurt the Flash as much as he can, but the fact that he can't kill him or he won't ever get the Speed Force, like none of that is there. And one of the really chilling, scary things at the end of the book that I wish was in this movie is the whole thing about the world getting so messed up and Reverse Flash running in the time stream when it happened, that he's now outside of time and he actually can kill the Flash because nothing can take his power away now. And that's one of the coolest things in the book, and I wish that was here.
Yeah. Again, it just feels like he's being I'm the bad guy kind of person in this movie. But if you know the comic, one of the best things about Flashpoint is Reverse Flash.
Yeah, and I don't usually like to compare a movie and a book as much as I'm doing here. I don't think this stands on its own, and it's not changed enough where it's its own standalone adaptation. It really feels like there's a lot of things that are just representative, and that you can't really follow it properly if you don't have the book. I've talked to a lot of people that love this movie that have never read the book, that I think just enjoy it for the action and for the Thomas Wayne Batman reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now we're going to get to another scene that should have been R-rated. Wonder Woman killing a kid.
Oh yeah, and again, made more gruesome than it is in the book, and I don't think we needed to go there.
It was just trying to be extreme.
Yeah, let's not do that with Kid. I mean, at least it happens off screen. If memory serves in the book, he just gets electrocuted.
Yeah, I think so. But in here, it's like, nope, Diana just killed that kid right in front of everybody.
And they go way more over the top with the Reverse Flash kill too, where it's now. I do kind of like it more here with Thomas Wayne using a gun. Well, maybe I'm not sure. Actually, that's debatable. Because you could make the argument that well, I don't know. I was gonna say you could make the argument that he's grown a little bit because that's supposed to be indicative of that when he doesn't use the gun in the book, but he just uses a sword and stabs him through the back. So maybe not.
Yeah, again, I think they were just trying to be. Let's just try to be as violent as possible because we're trying to get in with the in crowd. The dark and gritty and the future Batman v Superman kind of storytelling.
Yeah, you're right. And like the gun is fine, but the whole shooting it through the
it's a cool.
through
Admittedly,
the hole in his head, that's obnoxious.
I know, but it's at the same time, it's like that is a cool scene, but it's totally pointless. Like it's like when you first see it, it's like, oh, that's a neat way to shoot a scene.
See, I didn't have that. I was like, that is silly. That hole wouldn't be that big.
Yeah,
I can't even buy it. Like,
I mean, I don't like it either, but at the same time, I was like, oh, that's something. But no, yeah, I do agree. It's not a great scene.
So you watch this movie and you're like, all of Wonder Woman and Aquaman's dialogue is really hackneyed and really melodramatic, and then you read the book and most of it is lifted word for word from the book, and I'm like, oh, Johns wrote some really bad dialogue for them, and it's also just delivered poorly.
Yeah, it feels really stiff and.
Oh yeah, Captain Adam's in this movie. Remember that?
Yeah, I forgot. With good reason.
Yeah, I totally forgot. I love how sarcastically you're saying that. I forgot, and with good reason. This movie, it's preposterous.
Yeah, but it's not the worst thing we got later on. Like, I could still watch this over Justice League War.
Justice League War,
Throne of Atlantis,
Son of Batman. I don't like any of those.
Yeah, the only one I've seen.
Son of Batman is even worse than Batman versus Robin.
Oh yeah, and then we have Bad Blood or Bat Blood or whatever it was called.
I forgot about Bad Blood. There are more of these than I remembered. What are there, like 7?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, that bullet. Maybe it's just the perspective, and it just looks big. No, it's pretty big on his head.
And you can see the brain mat. I feel like for one brief second, Frank Miller just came in, wrote that scene, and ninja'd his way out.
Yeah, and if it was live action, he also would have insisted on doing the cameo himself. Like he would have wanted to play Eobard Thawne so that he could get killed.
Yeah. Yeah, he just kind of snuck in like a solid snake style, and wrote the scene, put himself under a, and then he just walked out of the. And I could just see, like, I don't know, Stan Lee being his Otacon, be like, Frank.
Thomas Wayne had this look at the light there, like he was a vampire and he was about to turn to dust. That's right. Well, I guess that makes sense because it actually is a light that's destroying everything because reality is disintegrating. I forgot that's what happens in this scene. Excuse me.
Why is he CG in this? Why is he CG in this scene?
I didn't pick up on that being CG, but
yeah, for when he's limping to run again. Look, there it is again.
Yeah,
and it looks.
I have a hard time buying that on a limp like that he could go fast enough to make this happen. We also get rid of the whole cosmic treadmill thing and coming up with some other way for him to do this. I guess he just has to go fast enough. In the comics, like Flash has to. There's complicated mathematical figures you have to do to make sure that you're going to the right time period and stuff. Yeah. It's difficult computation.
Yeah. In here, it's just run and go. And maybe you just really need to believe in yourself in this context.
Okay, so I'm also an idiot for just now realizing that, maybe it's intentionally the Back to the Future house because this is a time travel story. I was just making a joke. Now I'm thinking they did it on purpose.
You can't go back, Barry.
Okay, yeah, so see, look, here's the guy. Is that Reverse Flash? Is it? I don't know. And if it's not, then who killed her and what was the impetus? And maybe I missed some line someplace and people are going to think I wasn't paying attention, but I really did not catch any place where he makes it clear that he's the one that killed her.
Here's the better question. Do you really care at this point?
Well, I guess not. Okay, so this is hilarious. World faces Armageddon. Oh no! World faces budget Armageddon. Oh, good. So all we have to worry about is the whole economy collapsing.
Yeah, like that's somehow better.
The world's back to normal. Well, it's better, but it's really sad, right? That that's the state of modern affairs. We're like, oh, good, the world's back to normal. All we're worried about now is the economy the entire world economy falling apart. Maybe there's intentional social commentary there, but the way it's shot, it's like we're supposed to put our hand over our forehead and go, "Woo! We dodged a bullet there."
Yeah, but in hindsight, that's probably a lot worse than an Atlantean Amazon war when you think about it.
Well, not if it's going to crack the Earth in half.
Yeah. We won't. It's all right, Iris. I still love you. Also, in this new continuity, we're not dating.
Oh, the cave is designed here almost exactly as it is in the book with that cool windy staircase.
Yeah.
I like the windy staircase.
Yeah. Whenever
I
I
want
think
one of
that
those in my
cave,
house.
yeah. Whenever I also did he also think, why does my costume look different now?
Yeah, I'm fuzzy on whether or not Flash actually remembers everything, or if his. I think maybe his memories are supposed to have been somewhat altered to this world now. But then there's this talk about how he has all the memories from the previous world. So does he remember everything from the world before the Flashpoint? I'm confused about that. And why is it the silly suit with all the lightning bolts on it? It's not that in the book.
You know what would have made a little more sense for the setup for making the silly costume and all that? If they brought in Pandora when he was time traveling back to stop. Yeah, if they brought in Pandora or Phantom, anything, like give that explanation if you want to do Flashpoint. Reveal the character that helped make Flashpoint.
But this suit is so much sillier than the one he actually has at the end of Flashpoint.
Yeah. Or in this case, or I thought about it, I was like, oh wait, in Rebirth it stated that Dr. Manhattan created created the new universe.
This CG stuff is pretty awful.
Yeah.
Oof.
Did they just run out of budget? Yeah.
And again,
is it just to remind me of that MTV Spider-Man cartoon?
Yes. Good call. It is like that. Yeah. As I always say, when you're adapting, you don't have to be just like the source material, but I don't know why you have that goofy suit except to maybe try to let viewers know that aren't in the know that things have changed and this isn't the same. Here's the thing. It really does feel like he just put the universe back together. Because we're only in the Batcave and you see nothing else. And the only difference is that suit. And nobody would make that leap, whether you know the material or otherwise. Nobody would make that leap. Oh, that means everything's different from before Flashpoint, right? Like, it really looks like he's just put everything back the way it was before. It's the end of Star Trek 4. It's the end of Star Trek First Contact. The world is the way it was.
Wait, Michael B. Jordan was in this movie?
Was he Cyborg? He was
Cyborg.
He was. He was Cyborg. Wow.
I couldn't tell. Like
that wouldn't happen
I kept
now.
thinking in the back of my head. Yeah, it's the same thing with like Bryan Cranston in Batman Year One.
Well, yeah, except that his career was very much underway at that point.
Yeah, but the same, I kept listening to Cyborg's voice. I was like, that is a very familiar voice. Oh, it's Michael B. Jordan.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, there's a lot of big voices in this.
Yeah,
and James Patrick Stewart,
at least
not to be confused with Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, at least they didn't, completely mess them over with one sentence like LeVar Burton in Public Enemies.
I don't know what you're talking about. What happened there?
LeVar Burton was Black Lightning in Batman Superman Public Enemies, but he only had one line.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's funny. Yeah. Why even bother? It could be anybody.
Yeah.
It could be the dude sweeping the floors. It doesn't matter at that point.
Yeah. Did he have more lines and they just cut him out? I don't know the story. Oh God. So I guess that was Flashpoint Paradox.
There it was.
Ow.
Flashpoint Paradox. Weird. Okay, so one of the other. Thanks for saying the title again, because I wanted to mention this earlier. I forgot about it. One of the other reasons that I wish they had gone for the whole Ebert Thawne is outside of time thing is that he actually in the series comes out and says, I am a walking or running, I forget how he puts it, paradox. Like that's the only play, and sometimes it's irritating to have the name of your movie in the thing, but at least we wouldn't be saying Flashpoint Paradox. But I was just a little bit surprised that we didn't go with that plot point, given that the title of the film is Flashpoint Paradox. Because then you'd have a couple of different paradoxes.
Yeah, that is true. And I get at this
There's
point.
an after credit scene. There's an after credit scene.
There's an after credit scene.
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Oh, that's right, and that's the thing. Okay, so that confirms for sure that they knew they were going into Justice League War, because they end it with the Parademon thing.
I didn't even know about the after credits scene because I just assumed that was the end of the film with the credits.
And again, that's a thing that means nothing to you if you don't know the material.
Exactly.
Like, this is a problem that I run into with these a lot. Like what? Who are these for? And sometimes I can't tell. But anyway, well, Deadpoolzilla, it was nice finally doing a video with you.
It was nice finally doing a video with you. I hope we can do this again in the future.
We shall, I'm sure. Yeah, maybe we'll pick something that we both like better. But this was fun. It was interesting to revisit this.
Yeah. Sorry, I picked the bottom of the barrel.
No, you didn't because you didn't say Justice League War. But but I think you're absolutely right that, like, my big takeaway from going back to this is as a lot of people feel like Thomas Wayne is really still the coolest thing of this, and he should have gotten a short or something.
Yeah, like I said, I think it would have been cool if we got a short of like the thing Jonah Hex and Green Arrow had, like with him confronting Martha, Joker.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe even do it in the Batman Noir style.
Yeah,
do it straight up black and white. Because Eric showed me the Batman Noir hardcover, which includes that. I think it's re-inked and it's in black and white, and it's so pretty that way. It's really cool.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of doing a review of that just to show people the art because it's cool.
Yeah. I guess as a cool little feature for this DVD, you could have done, I don't know, like little one and dones of like the Grodd story and all the little one shots. Yeah, the Grodd story's stupid but fun.
Well, and again, Citizen Cold's one of the better ideas, so it's kind of sad that he's just got that one-off mention.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, folks, thanks a lot for listening to us. Sure appreciate it, as always. And I will see you again for more commentaries and stuff down the road. Deadpoolzilla, I'm sure, will pop in with Manos with more Steven Universe reviews. I don't know if that's still going right now or if we're waiting for that to come back.
No, it's still going as far as I know.
All right, cool. And I will, and I'm sure I'll come back with Deadpoolzilla with another video down the road. Thanks a lot for listening. I am Captain Logan.
And I am Deadpoolzilla.
Thanks again, folks. See you next time.